Let's take a look at the top cold calling methods. So firstly, we're going to kick off with traditional cold calling. And this is when you just get somebody's phone number and ring their phone and try and talk to them. Nobody likes this because it takes away from their day. Whatever they're trying to do that day, you insert yourself into their day and take their focus away from whatever they're working on. So for that reason, traditional cold calling is going to be listed as a D tier cold calling method. Next up, we have waiting outside of their office. Now, this is one that actually you don't expect to be as effective as it is, but going to somebody's office, especially a professional, think a dentist, think a doctor, think somebody that goes into their office every single day. If you wait there, they usually like to arrive a little bit early to get a jump start on their day. Usually they haven't dove deep into their work yet, but they're still in work mode because they've arrived there early to their office to get started on the day early. If you're there standing up front, especially dressed nice, and this is a key factor, you need to be dressed to impress, this is going to get their attention. This is going to cause them to take 5 minutes to listen to what you have to say because you were there early before they were there, and you look like a professional who knows exactly what he's doing and you're respectful of their time. This is going to get a lot of positive feedback. For this reason, I'm listing it as an A tier. Next up, we have door-to-door sales. Door-to-door sales is hard. It's not easy to knock on a bunch of doors and talk to people and get rejected over and over again. And that's often what happens with door-to-door, but it is a tried and tested method. It does eventually bring results if you hit enough doors. And it's something that does take courage to do. Unfortunately though, nobody likes to be intruded on in their personal house. So we're gonna list this as a C tier cold calling method. Next up, we've got Facebook ads. Facebook ads are a pretty good way to get in front of your ideal audience. And you can get pretty damn targeted and get right to the person that you want to see your advertisement. That's one of the beautiful things about Facebook ads. Facebook ads are pretty effective for what they are. And when trying to get new business and new prospects, if your copy and visuals are dialed in, Facebook ads can be pretty effective at accomplishing your goal. I'm going to list Facebook ads as a B tier cold calling method. It's tried and tested. It gets the job done, but it's nothing out of the ordinary. Next up, we have our first S tier cold calling method, and that is Loom videos. So many people do not use this technique when they should be using this technique. If you are in the business of digital services, and that can be anything from website creation to ads to copy, creative, anything that is a digital service / agency model, you need to have a Loom account and you need to be making Loom videos. Show your prospects, don't tell them. Make it hyper personalized for every single client that you're trying to sign. I do this all the time when approaching prospects for my own agency, and this method has been one of my most successful methods for getting new business into my agency. What I like to do is I like to go onto their website, if it's not a very nice website, and get my Loom camera on, have a face to the brand, and show them exactly step by step what is wrong with their website, what I would help them change, and what I would do to help them have a more effective online presence. Obviously, this depends what service you're offering and what your agency business model is, but showing, not telling, is a very effective way, especially if you have a smiling face in the video, you're personable, and you make it custom made for every single business that you're trying to approach and sign as a client. One thing to note about this though, is you want it to be very short. You honestly want this video to be under 1.5 minutes. Everybody's got time to watch a minute-long video, but they don't have time to watch 3, 4, 5-minute videos. I want it personalized, professional, and to the point. 1.5 minutes, I can watch that. I have time. Anything longer, you're kind of going to start wasting my time. I've had such a high success rate with this cold calling method because it's different. People don't expect to see their own website with your face in it talking about the things that you would help them implement before you even do it for them. So for these reasons, Loom tutorial videos are getting ranked as an S tier cold calling method. Similarly, but not exactly in the same vein, is creating custom YouTube videos for various prospects. This can be a little bit more generalized. You don't necessarily have to make a unique video for every single prospect, but you can make a small personalized section at the beginning of every video for the person that you're addressing. That makes the rest of the video feel custom, even though you're really just in a YouTube video talking about what you do, talking about your services. Keep it brief and record a bunch of custom intros to every video. Again, try and keep these short because you don't want to waste people's time. Great cold calling method overall. I'm going to rank this as an A tier. Next up, we've got hitting up their business email account. A lot of business emails can be found publicly online. There's lots of different directories where you can get somebody's business email, and unfortunately, it's highly likely that this is just going to get deleted on the spot. It's boring, it's lazy, it's average. So for this reason, just standard business email cold calls are getting ranked as a D tier. I'll make a point about that though. If you combine that with either the Loom video cold call or the YouTube video cold call, that could potentially bump this up to a C or a B tier, because now you're combining it with something that has a much higher value, an element of personalization. It's going to pique their curiosity a little bit more. That's not just a plain kind of businessy sales salesy email. Instead, it is a personalized video that's under 1 minute, 30 seconds in length that shows them, oh, this person has put some effort into making this video specifically for me. Let me check this out. So to recap, combining it with either the Loom video cold call or the YouTube video cold call bumps it up to a B. Otherwise, it's down in D. Next up, we have climbing the corporate hierarchy to reach out to their managers, the people around them, their colleagues, other people in the company in order to get to them. This is generally frowned upon. Generally, you don't want to go above somebody to get to them, but it is actually something that you can do if you have the right connections. If you legitimately know people in their network and you have other connections within their company, this can be a great way to get your foot into the door, but it may put a bad taste in their mouth if they realize that you actually have just used a bunch of other people to get to them. The more natural, the better with this one. So for this reason, I'm ranking it as a C tier. However, I will mention that if this is a referral method versus just a forced tree structure as you build up through the network to them, this could easily be bumped up to a B or an A tier, because referrals, positive natural referrals, are some of the most powerful methods that you can use to get to the prospect that you want. However, if you're just kind of inching your way through the network and finding people that are connected to them in order to get to that final prospect, which may be the case if you're just starting out, etc., this drops down to a C tier. Next up, we've got LinkedIn InMail. Paying for LinkedIn Gold kind of makes you look like a pleb. I'm just gonna say it. If you want to really network with people, you need to have good connections built up organically. LinkedIn Pro, it's kind of like buying Snapchat Plus. Who does that? People that really want to creep on what's going on, right? Who's viewing my profile? Who's viewing my stories? Who's viewing this? People that don't care about those things don't buy LinkedIn Pro, LinkedIn Gold, whatever it's called, and send those personalized mails to people. Especially if you're coming at people with a salesy business pitch right in their LinkedIn inbox. Nobody wants that. It's a different story if you're using it to just expand your network and connect with other professionals in the area. But if you're doing this for cold calling, which is the point of this video, LinkedIn direct messages aren't the way to do that. People are going to see through this facade and know that you just paid money so that you could hit into their inbox directly. For that reason, I'm marking LinkedIn direct mail as a C tier. Next up, we have just traditional good old LinkedIn. And this is actually a fantastic way to network around and meet people, especially if you're using the post feature. Specifically, video content, surprisingly, is blowing up at the moment on LinkedIn. If you've got a lot of great content that talks about what you do, what your business does, how you help people, that's not necessarily salesy or bragging too much, but it just highlights all the different results that you've gotten for people, other business owners will notice. They'll see it. LinkedIn will push it to them because it's relevant to them. From there, just start networking, add people, reach out organically, remind people in your content that they can contact you from your website, or if they want more information, they can see your website, etc. This creates a very organic networking experience that doesn't feel too salesy to people. It's organic, it's natural, it's LinkedIn, you're posting content, people are seeing it, you're pushing them to your website, you're making sales, bada bing, bada boom. For this reason, I'm gonna mark organic LinkedIn usage as a B tier cold calling method. Next up, we've got the country club maneuver, and this is an S tier cold calling method. This is a method that a lot of people don't have the balls to use. Not because it's hard, but you definitely need to bat above your league for this one. This can be finding where your prospects hang out and going there. With this cold calling method, you're playing the long game. If they like to play tennis, go hang out at the local tennis courts around the office and around the community. It may involve joining a club, either a golf club, a tennis club, something like that. Going to where those business prospects would be hanging out and making sure that you are actually investing in that thing that you went there for. It helps if you're cracked at tennis or golf because you'll be able to impress. You're networking in an informal setting. This is what the big boys of business do anyways. On the weekends, they're all playing golf, playing tennis. So just put yourself in those positions where you can meet them organically, naturally. You need to be good at the sport though. If you're just there chopping it up, turf and grass, nobody's going to respect you. And that respect doesn't necessarily translate to business, but it kind of does translate to business, if you know what I mean. You're meeting people, you're talking business. That is the prime place to plug your value add, because nobody's in that hardcore business mindset of reject. We're just here having a great time, playing golf, playing tennis. It's a great way to acquire new business in an informal setting. For this reason, I'm marking country club networking as an S tier cold calling method. Next up, we've got their personal Gmail inbox. This is something that's a little bit risky to do. Nobody wants to have business communications forced into their personal inbox. However, if it's relevant to them and if it's an informal email, this can be an effective way to get your foot into the door. Personal email is risky. If they give you their personal email to use, great, you're in. If you find it yourself using hunter.io, that could be a little bit disrespectful to go into their personal email uninvited. But they will read it because it's in their personal inbox. Usually business emails just instant delete. It looks like ads. But a personalized email in their personal inbox, especially if you put in the subject line like reply to regarding before you write a little clickbait subject line to your email, that makes it look like they've already replied to you before and you're just responding to that. Don't do that. that would be really disrespectful to make people think that you've already replied to them in their personal inbox. That'd be very, very unprofessional, especially if that email hit their inbox at a strategic time just a few minutes after dinner when they were thinking about their life and all the problems that they have, and you hit their inbox with that perfectly seasoned email telling them all about how you're going to help them solve their problems, add this value to their life, make their life easier, make them more money in their business. That'd be really bad to do that, right? So don't do it. It's a little bit invasive to go into somebody's personal inbox. And for that reason, I'm marking personal Gmail as a C tier. If you're invited directly into their personal inbox, that's a B or an A, because now you have a direct line to them. If you're not invited in there, it's closer to a C or a D. We're going to leave it as a C for now. So next up, we've got burglary and kidnapping of their children. These two methods are unparalleled. They know no match. These are the most elite methods for getting new prospects. When you jump over their fence in the middle of their night, sneak into their back door, crack their car door open with a coat hanger, leave your business card right under their pillow or on their bedside table, they're not going to know it hit them. This is going to shock them to the core. They're going to be so invested in you and your business and knowing who you are that they won't be able to resist trying to track you down and give you a phone call. And at that point, launch right into your sales pitch, close them, and ask them whether they prefer PayPal or direct billing to their credit card, because you offer both. They won't be able to resist reaching out to you. Now, obviously, that's a joke, but the point from these two is you need to know a lot about the person that you're approaching. When making an approach to a prospect, you don't want to stalk them, but you want to know a little bit about them, especially when you're reaching out to somebody who has mutual interests with your other clients. So obviously, I'm going to list these as D tier. Now, you might be saying, Zach, that's so crazy. How can you have burglary and kidnapping their children on the same level as cold calling directly to their phone and sending them a boring, lazy business email? Well, yeah, I think they're outdated. I don't think you should do them. I think there's way better cold calling methods that you could use if you want to maximize your success with cold calling. You don't have to do what you've always been told. There are other options. You need to think outside of the box. And last but not least is sending legacy mail, snail mail. This is so underrated these days. If you received a letter like that with a little wax stamp and a little twill ribbon tied around it, you would not be able to resist opening that thing to see what's in there. Who the heck sent me this, right? What is this? I need to open this and see what it is. Do not just use the standard white envelopes or make your letter look like some junk mail type beat that instantly gets shredded. Make it stand out from all the other pieces of the mail that they have so that when their secretary brings them the mail, that's the one that she puts right on the top because it's the most interesting looking. Now you get double bonus points if you combine this snail mail with one of the other video cold calling methods. I'm thinking either the S tier Loom video or the A tier YouTube video. Have that letter really nicely wrapped, really vintage and unique looking, and on the inside have an interesting handwritten letter with just a QR code on it. If you combine these, your prospects won't be able to resist scanning that QR code, seeing what this is all about. Who sent this organic letter? What does this QR code go to? What is going on here? They're going to be caught hook, line, and sinker on your little funnel trap going through your funnel. And the more deeply invested they get into this, oh, he can add value to my life. Oh, he can make me more money. Oh, he can help me run my business more efficiently. They're going to be sold. This is going to do some of the selling for you. So for this reason, I'm going to mark vintage snail mail as an S tier cold calling method. It's elite. There you have it, folks. The best to worst cold calling methods ranked. I hope that you use some of these strategies to innovate, to be creative, to stand out in the eyes of your prospects, and hopefully at the end of the day, make the sale. Best of luck, and I'll see you in the next video.